two things. One, I think hard work beats talent any day. The world's not such a bad place. There are nice people there who are willing to support you. If you keep an open mind and an open heart and not be arrogant in life, but just be a bit humble, I think many doors will open for you.
Hey yo, beautiful humans, and welcome back to Creative Ones on Anqor Podcast. And I remain your host, Chineme Prince. My guest today is what I'll call the vibes curator. Also, the best human being ever. She's nice, she's kind, and she lives life on her own terms. She's done everything, like literally everything. Ladies and gentlemen, Sara G. Or should I say DJ Sara? Which one do you prefer?
Sara G.
Sara G. Okay. So no titles or whatsoever.
No,
So
I
you
don't
can
do
be
titles.
anyone.
Yeah.
All right, let's move straight to it. Tell us about little Sara. What were you like as a child?
A ball of creative energy. Could never sit in one place for sure. I would say very misunderstood because everyone was trying to make me do one thing, but I had to realize myself that people can do anything they want. You don't have to live in a box and you don't have to live with limits. And that's the best part about growing up. I can do what I want now.
That's true. Because I know from our previous conversations that you used to be a journalist for CNN. I know. But you no longer do that. Now you're a DJ, you scuba dive, you're hosting, emceeing, even curating like entertainment events and all that. So how did that all come about? How did you navigate all this?
Honestly, I grew up in India, and if you know Indian parents, they want you to follow a certain career path, and I was never that kid. I did try though, a little
Yeah.
bit. But eventually, I just decided I want to move, I want to travel, and I want to just express myself. It doesn't even matter in what form or on what platform, but at the end of the day, I need to be me, and I need to connect with people like you who
Yeah.
get me, you know what I mean?
That's right. That's
And I wasn't the weirdo, I wasn't so different. All I was creative, that's about it. And I needed to find my tribe.
Yeah, that's true. Are there other avenues of art that you haven't explored yet that you want to, get into at some point?
My little secret is dance right now. I'm nowhere as good as you right now. I've just been for a few classes, but I am obsessed.
Dance. Any specific genre of dance, or just going with the flow?
I'm looking at like a Mapiano Afrobeat style, but it's so difficult. But I'm sure if I practice, I can get there
Yeah,
too.
of course, definitely. Anyone can dance, and you've got the vibes, you got the rhythm. So you just gotta go with the flow, and eventually you get it. When you DJ, are you an open DJ, or do you have like specific song or genres that you play?
So I've been a DJ for 10 years. And when I started, the same journey with music, people were like, you need to do only one genre of music. You need to brand yourself. And I was like, nah. I love music. I love people. And my job as a DJ is to make the people around me happy. So I always read the crowd. I always step in a place. And I have my music prepared. Don't get me wrong. I'm not a lazy DJ.
Yeah.
But I'm a creative DJ. So
Yeah.
I can completely play different genres, mix these together. For example, for New Year's, I was at Burj Khalifa and this was the fireworks show. So you had people from all over the world. So the music also had to be from all over the world.
Yeah.
You can't cater to just one type of crowd. And that was pretty much the best show of my life.
Best show of your life, man. That's a big one.
Yeah.
It must have been really something for you to say it's a big.
It
big show
really
of your
was.
life.
It was on live TV. It was like the Sheikh was watching. It was everywhere, It was also scary in a way.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, once you stop overthinking life and just live in that moment, everything changes around you.
Stop overthinking life and living in the moment. Everything changes around you. That sounds like a rap song.
Maybe another
Give
thing
me-
to pursue.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I know. I definitely in some future, maybe we pursue rap. You travel a lot. You travel extensively. What does that do to you? Like for someone that travels a lot, how does that affect your life and your friends, your relationships with your family? Because you're not always sat down in a particular country for a long time. How do you navigate all that with your relationships?
To be honest, if I love you, I love you. I still have a phone. I can text you. I still call my mom pretty much every day
Yeah.
wherever I am. That doesn't change. But I think especially as creatives living in Dubai, it's important to get out of the bubble. It's important to see what people are doing in other countries.
Yeah.
It's important to feel a whole bunch of different feelings because that's how you create good stuff, irrespective of what you're doing in life.
Yeah.
You need to feel something to really create something that matters to the people around you.
Do you have any favorite countries that you've been to so far?
I just went to South Africa. I DJed at Africa Burn there, and it changed my life because this was an experience based on community. You live in the desert with nothing around you, yeah? And it's a whole 1 week. So the people around you become your family, and you learn to help each other, support each other, creative energy vibes off each other, you know?
Yeah.
And I can't wait to go back. I went last year as well, but this time I think I'm going to go back in October. And I'm feeling really inspired to create something from there. So let's see. Don't have a plan yet, but something cool is coming up.
Something cool is coming
Yeah.
up. All right. Your DJ career. Did you already have like a knowledge of DJing before you actually got into DJing, or you just kind of started and it kind of worked out for you, or?
I'm a person who always goes with the flow, but the seeds were planted by my father. When I was a kid growing up in India, he literally went to school, learned how to make a radio, came back and made me a radio so I can listen to music from all over the world, which for me was mind blowing. And I had mentors as well growing up. So my music teacher literally gave me the keys to the music room and said, you need to explore this, you know, and play whatever you want. There's no right, no wrong. And I think especially with music, it's good to have mentors like this because we live in a very competitive world, but what we do is creative. So you have to really tune into who you are and what you feel to find your place, you know? Like you can't just look around you and copy people around you. It doesn't work like that.
You just giving me like a spitfire of getting me in the fields, you know, getting me all that stuff. You're right. It is important to have like people that support you when you're growing up. When you left journalism, was that something that your parents had a hard time dealing with? Or
My
they
mom
just-
had a heart attack. My dad is the opposite. He's like, go live your dreams, you know? And this is always the case. Because I was a television anchor and like my mom's like, you worked so hard, you did all of this and now you want to leave it all? I'm like, yeah. And she's like, why? But honestly, looking back now, I've been in Dubai for 12 years and it was the best decision of my
Yeah.
life. Because at the end of the day, the amount of countries I've been to, the amount of things I've done, and just the safe space of living here, you know? I love living here and calling this place home because it gives you so many opportunities.
True.
And unlike our own countries, like here, you have a tiny dream and tomorrow it's a reality.
Yeah.
That's how fast you can manifest things.
Yep. That's the UAE for you. It gives you that opportunity. But also, even as much as you're ready to move on from that, journalism was something you wanted to do for the longest time. That first instance when you discovered that you had to give it up, what was that for you like? I'm guessing it wasn't all rainbow shiny and stuff like that. There must have been some kind of fear.
100%.
Yeah.
I literally emailed my boss and I said, just keep my job. I think if I don't like this, I'm going to come back in 1 year. Yeah. And trust me, the first 1 year here is the hardest because you don't know anyone and you're finding your way. And it's not an easy city when you first come here.
True.
In 6 months, the company that I joined closed down. I literally still remember I was like under the blanket, crying my eyes out. I'm like,
Aw.
why did I leave that to come here? But you meet a few people, they teach you a few life lessons. And from there, I think everything around you, like you can manifest your reality, you know, like, and I realized very quickly in the UAE, it's good to have more than one option in life.
Yeah.
So I was doing DJing and I had a day job in the beginning because I needed to pay the bills.
True that.
But eventually it reached a certain point where the choice was back in my hands. And then I replaced the day job with scuba diving.
Yeah.
And now all I do is travel and I can just do both these things wherever I go.
So scuba diving, I'll just jump right into that. That is quite scary. It's not something I'll ever do anyways, but in as much as I don't think I'll ever do it, when I see people, the videos of people that make of it, it always feels very free and then relaxing and, you know, just, I don't know how the word for it. Is that what it feels like to you?
That is
what it feels like?
exactly what it feels like to me. It's like meditation. And my night job is so high energy, people always around me. And the other one is peace, quiet, just tuning off that voice in your head and literally finding inner peace, you know, that's how I feel. And the same kind of joy I feel, it repeats itself. Every time I take someone new, for example, maybe you next, when people go
Girl,
like,
stop.
wow, this is amazing. Like, I feel equally happy just like them.
So you also teach scuba
I
diving.
do.
You showed me a picture of you swimming with sharks. Well, it's sharks. How do you swim with sharks and they just don't chop your head off? Because I know every movie I've seen, someone in the water, they chop your head off. Is there some kind of information that I'm not aware of that makes you resistant to the sharks, or the sharks don't care much about you or stuff like that?
I'm going to compare it to going on safari. Like, you watch many videos where you see lions and they're like, "Whoa," but
Yeah.
they can also be like Simba, cute, So at the end of the day, like, we are one with nature. And if you understand a bit more about the world around us, there's so much beauty and peace around us. And it's human beings who actually disrupt all of this.
Oof.
Yeah.
Controversial, but true.
It's the
True.
same with the
Very true.
sea. It's
Yeah.
the same with the sea. We pollute the sea, we overfish, we do a lot of harm, and then we cry when something bad happens.
True that.
But in their natural habitat, animals around us are more than happy just going with the flow, living their own life, and no, they all don't want to eat us,
Yeah, in as much as I know that is true, I'm never doing the whole scuba diving thing. But even if I do, I'll probably just do it like someone with has like tiny piccolo
We
fishes.
can take you in the swimming pool, no problem.
Hey, stop trying to embarrass me in front of people, okay? Sarah, you do a lot. You do a lot of stuff, and you're good at them. Is there like people out there that inspire you or motivate you on a regular basis, or just like people in the past that have helped you on your journey? You just looked up to them. You're like, oh, thank you for this. Is there people
For
like
me,
that?
my family is my biggest support. Like, growing up, my mom used to always say, "The world is your oyster." And my dad never once flinched when I told him about my dreams, even though they changed a lot. He just supported me. And it was my grandmother who told me, "You don't have to be the best at everything you do in life, but if you love something, go for it." And nobody said you have to do something for 60 or 70 years. At the end of the day, like, we all have our own journey, and people and things come and go in our life, but it doesn't mean that it doesn't matter in our lives.
My parents are very supportive of my arts. I mean, they'll suggest, unlike most people, they don't come at me like, yo, you can't do that. They just suggest, why not try being a lawyer, I'm like, no, dad, no, mom, it's cool. I just want to do it. I remember my dad, I had this conversation with him when I told him I wanted to study theater arts in university. He sat me down and was like, it's okay if that's what you're doing. Are you sure this thing is going to put food on your table? I'm like, yeah, sure. Sort of. Because he said, don't come back to me and tell me later after I should come and support you. I'm like, yeah, dad, don't worry, it's fine. For me, university also was just like a place where I'd go to just learn about the world and all that, not really about the grades. Because my father was like, make sure you graduate with the first class. So I'm like, nah, that's never going to happen. Because the way I want to do university, I don't think I'll have time to be reading. I want to experience it. And that's what I ended up doing. And it worked out the best for me, But for you, what was like uni for you? What was uni? Were you the very studious student who was just
I
like,
think I was.
I mean, it could see people change all the time. People change all the time.
I was the creative one who was always outside university, doing all the extracurricular activities, from debate to like acting to so many things, that eventually the principal said, "I know you have all these slips saying you have like representing the university, but if you don't come and sit in class, I'm not letting you write your exam."
No more. Do you do any sports?
Honestly, I think I've lived a very active life,
So you don't need all that. Actually, I think like scuba diving is a sport, isn't it?
It is.
Okay. 5-10 years from now, what do you see yourself doing?
5 years back, all I wanted to do was travel. So literally right now, every 2 months, I'm like in a different country, and I love it. So I don't know what's going to happen in another 5 years.
Advice. Best advice you've ever gotten.
I think listening to your heart is the best advice I've ever got, because it sounds so simple, but in a world, especially with so much social media, where there's like peer pressure and like you're always looking at so many new ideas and what everyone else is doing, that you forget to live your own life. And you start comparing, and maybe your life is not good enough for you. But once you actually are confident and just take that time to sit with yourself and understand what you love and what you have to offer the world, I think that's all that matters.
You're an artist, right? And there's this question that keeps popping into my mind every once in a while. Like, do you think artists are obligated to be activists?
I think we're all obligated to just be honest to ourselves and honest to the people around us, so that you can interpret that however you want.
What about working with people? And sometimes we have creative differences and all that. How do you deal with such a situation?
I would compare it to the friendship I have with you. Like the first time I met you, we just became friends,
Yeah, we
right?
just vibe. Yeah,
Because we share the same energy. That's
true
why.
that. True.
So if you go looking for people just because they're famous or you think they're going to make you famous, that's the wrong attitude. But if you go and find people who are on the same wavelength, you can create easily. You can create like 10 times like more than you could have alone. But you need to have that right energy, and that's how you find your tribe.
What about in your career? Because I'm sure in the lifespan you've had, the other various careers that you've had so far, you've had some really remarkable achievements. But which one stands out to you the most?
I really would say being a good human being is what matters the most to me, because especially as a DJ, you get to meet so many people, and you never know whose lives you're touching around you. You know, like still people message me sometimes from a gig somewhere, and I've even forgotten. You know. But I think kindness is what matters the most. And especially in Dubai, you really never know what people are going through around you. It's easy to put on a smile, some nice clothes, and show up to work or a party.
Yeah.
But you never know what someone's going through. So just be nice.
All right.
It's easy.
That's true. With someone that does all of this, from DJing to journalism to scuba diving to curating, you also own like a marketing agency and all that. What is your creative process?
I think to the world around me, in the beginning, it looks like chaos because I'm like hyperactive with so much energy. And that quickly turns into focus and obsession. That's the word I would use. Because if I really want something, I'll just go after it. You know, like I'll make a vision board, I'll pray about it. Everything will just be focused on that one thing till it happens. And yeah, I've learned a little like about not being so hyper independent now. And when you find people around who want to support you, say yes. It's not a bad thing, you know. And with my creative process, getting out there is what inspires me. Like if I'm just going to sit at home all by myself, yes, I can do the work there, but I'm not going to get inspired. It's not going to flow. So even sitting here today with you is inspiring me. And I hope we come up with something cool very soon.
Oh yeah, definitely. We're definitely gonna work in some like cool stuff. Stay tuned, everyone. Just so soon, but yeah. What about people that want to do the same things you're doing? I'm sure they're like maybe kids or even adults that want to change careers last minute. You know, they're thinking about it. They're graining about it. You know, they want to do this thing, but not quite sure. They don't know if they should or not. What would be your advice?
Two things. One, I think hard work beats talent any day. Like a lot of us have day jobs, you sleep less and you still want to DJ. But if you put that work in, it will pay off. And the second thing is community. Because like the world's not such a bad place. There are nice people there who are willing to support you. Maybe not like giving you $1 million, but giving you advice, giving you a few gigs, taking you to their events so they can mentor you and you can see what's happening or how they do something. So if you keep an open mind and an open heart and not be arrogant in life, but just be a bit humble, I think many doors will open for you.
Just basically be a kind human being, people. Be kind. I want to take you back a little bit to the DJ stuff before we round up. Most people have like a dream collab they want to do. Like even as an actor, I want to work with Meryl Streep one day. I work with Al Pacino, Leonardo DiCaprio, Denzel Washington. Of course, those are people
I see a little bit of that there.
So you heard that, Denzel? Yeah, just hit me up. Are there any DJs that you want to work with in the future?
So part of being an events DJ is to always look and listen to the people around you and how they're making the crowd move. And one of the people I really admire so much is DJ Snake. And I've watched him like a couple of times now, not just once. And that's somebody I would really like to collaborate with. Cool guy, amazing music. The way he connects with the crowd is just insane.
DJ Snake, is that the guy that's in Turn? No, it's not the one that did Turn Down for What? Is that him?
Yes, absolutely right.
Oh yeah. He's such a vibe though. I've seen him with his
Yes.
blonde hair and all that. Oh man. Oh, I can see that. You guys, that would be some interesting
Same here,
collaboration. Yeah. No, definitely. Sarah, it's been an absolute pleasure having you here, baby.
Thank you so much for having me.
But yes, that's our show today. Do make sure to follow Sarah. Her Instagram is somewhere down here. And remember, we release episodes every week. Until next time, peace out.